my check. She was like, hey Kim, I want to say something to you, but I don't want to offend you. And I was like, what is it? And she was like, well, you're very intimidating. And I said, well, that doesn't offend me. I said, but I don't understand how I'm being intimidated. She said, well, the ladies, you know, this is a job full of women, and they just feel like your personality is very intimidating. I said, well, I haven't even did anything yet. And she said, well, they just feel like that you might possibly take their jobs over. And I said, well, that doesn't make me feel bad at all. I said, even though I haven't did anything. And I thought that was so funny, because you think that that's an insult. That's not an insult to me. When I walk in and y'all get nervous, all you old ass people, and I'm 18, I feel like I'm that bitch. Hey Kim's Click, I'm back again, and I'm back more so, I guess this is story time / update. I told you guys that you'll be seeing me back to back to back with these story time / little updates on what's been going on with me, while I've been hiding, what's been happening. Hey, because I'm trying to be more transparent with you all, keep you up with my life, so y'all be like, damn, 1 minute you was here, a month later you somewhere else, we don't even know. Try not to keep y'all in the dark, because I be cropping out a lot, y'all, a whole lot of. So this story time is going to be why I quit the daycare. Now, I have a lot of receipts. I'm going to have to find them, though. This is going to be a hell of a video for me to edit, because I'm going to find, so I can show y'all. If I can't find all my receipts, I'll put the few that I do find, because I know where a few are off bail. But some of them, I'm like, damn, did I send on my laptop? Did I send on my iPad? Because I be having I got so many different electronic devices that I work with. Boom, here we go. So, as you guys know, I vlogged it. Did I post that vlog? I vlogged it. If I may have posted that vlog. I think I did. I have to look. I'm going to tell y'all the story while I look. But I have to look, because I think that I posted the vlog about me getting a job, because I remember vlogging. I was like, I was Instagramming, and I was like, I got the job, y'all. So I'll see if I can find that clip and everything and tell y'all about that. But whatever. So I was
the craziest thing is, I should have knew from the jump this job was gonna be some bullshit. I got pulled over on the way to my job interview. They let me go, but I got pulled over.
So you all know that I was going to move to Atlanta, and then I got signed by my acting agency, and I was like, okay, I have to stay here longer, you know, for contract purposes. I was like, oh, okay, I might as well get a job, you know, finish stacking the coins until I start doing this. And I was working and acting and working and acting. Also, that's another story I have to tell you about how they tried to rob me. So just story times on top of story times. But anyways, so I went to the job. I had this lady, my manager, and I'm gonna call her Sam. Hi Sam, I know you watch my YouTube videos, and guess what, since I'm not saying your name, it's nothing you can do about it. But anyways, Sam, fat, white, short hair, always in the office doing nothing, Sam's ass hired me. So I came, you know, I'm sitting there, whatever we was talking about, we real cool, boom. Sam hired me. She like come back. So I don't remember what that she did. Oh, she told me to come back the next week. I remember, because she was off for a whole week after she hired me. So I get there, and then there's another lady who I'm gonna call Jamie, even though that's not her name. I think she was the assistant manager. Should I call her Jamie? I'm gonna call her Jamie because it's close to her name. So anyways, Jamie was the assistant manager, also fat, just with brown, longer hair, and a mess as well. Well, Jamie wasn't as bad, but Jamie was a de-esser. Let's just say that. So here we go. Sam hired me. Boom. Told me to come to train. I came to train. I was supposed to train for 3 days. After a day and a half, they put me in the classroom. Put me in the baby classroom. Because at first, okay, so when I first got hired, she told me that I could pick what classroom I was in. That they needed people in, damn it. In infant. See, it's been 2 months since I worked, so now I'm confused. It's and in infants, which is the babies that's like 6 weeks to a year, and then the room that I was in. What room was I in? Preschool, not preschool, pre-K. So she said that I could, no. Excuse me. She told me when I initially got hired, I ended up being in preschool and pre-K, but that's not where they told me at first. They told me infants and twos, because when I got hired, I told her that the babies that I normally work with are from infants to twos. That's why I told her, that's who she told me that she was looking for an assistant teacher for. Excuse me, had to clear it up. Like I told you, it's been 2 months. Bear with me. So I was like, well, I prefer to work with babies, because I do. I prefer to work with babies or whatever. So she put me in the twos room first. On my first day there, like the first day that I got hired, I went into the twos room. I sat in there for like 30-40 minutes, and I was in there, and I was, you know, it was cool or whatever. And then after a day and a half of training, they put me in infants in ratio. Now ratio is what it is how I can't even explain it. Ratio is a system at the daycare. It's like teachers to children. Now I don't know if I'm right, so I'm gonna try. Bear with me, like I said, because I can't remember exactly how many it was supposed to be. However, I know that we were damn near never in ratio, because somebody was calling off or this or that, and so a lot of times people wouldn't be able to leave on time because of ratio. So yeah, so you had to be in ratio. So they put me into ratio, and I shouldn't have been in ratio because I hadn't even completed my training or signed anything. Like I didn't even do anything. I was just put in the system. I didn't even have my clock right. So boom, so I get in there. I was in there, you know, it was cool, whatever. I ended up finishing my training. It was a lot of stuff that I was supposed to do that I didn't do. Like I didn't even go and get, what was I supposed to get? I didn't go take my shots. I was supposed to go take my shots. I never went and took my shots because, like I said, the boss was gone. I never went and took my shots because over the weekend, I didn't feel like it. Literally, I didn't feel like it. Like I was going to go, but I had already took them that same year before for my previous nursing job. I was like, do I really got to take them again? They was like, well, if it's been 6 months, you got to take them again. But I never went again. I never went because they never asked me about it again. I was like, it's not that big a deal, apparently, because they wasn't on their shit. So I didn't go. Nobody asked me about it ever again. I finished my training. You know, I started working. So I was working in infants. Boom. After a week of me working there, I got sick. I got sick bad. Okay, so let me tell y'all about my first week. The first week that I worked there, I was working with this lady. It was like an older black lady. And then like another older lady. But she was like, she was of another descent. I know that for a fact. She was from the islands. You know who I'm talking about. She was from the islands. She knows. They know because they watch me. I'm going to get on that. She was from the islands. You know, she was younger. She may have been younger. I don't know. But they were both in the military or Marines or some of that. And so everybody was all like telling me. From the first day I got there, somebody came in and was like, you new here? Hope you last long. Like they was all like, you know, you ain't gonna be here for long. And I was just taking it as like, you know, like when people start coming in, you be like, like you know how you be when you've been there a long time and you're annoyed and this and that. You feel some type of way. So I just took it like with a grain of salt. So I get in there and they was saying like the older black lady was gonna be so mean to me and la 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 la. She was a B to begin with, but it was kind of like, you know, like, you know, also because she was a military lady, not to be like that, but my auntie is a military lady, so I kind of knew how to deal with her because it's like that same exact attitude, you know, like, you know, but how you shut people up like that is just do what you're supposed to do. You do what you're supposed to do, you do it the right way, they have less to talk about or nothing to talk about at all. So for like the first 2 days she was on my head, and then like the third day she didn't have anything to say. She's like, did you do this, Kimberly? I'm like, yeah, I did that. She's like, but did you do this? I'm like, yeah. She like, well, did you do that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, good job. And it was cool after that. So the following week I had got sick. She went on the older black lady, which was our head teacher. So I'm gonna say it like this. Our head teacher was the older black lady. The assistant teacher was the island lady, and I was another assistant teacher. So boom, our head teacher went on vacation. So the boss on vacation, the head teacher on vacation. No, the boss coming back from vacation for the second week, the head teacher going on vacation. Boom, that's how it is. So now I'm in the classroom with the assistant teacher, which is the island lady. So we in there, you know, I come in, the first day I come in, here it goes. The first day of the next week I come in, I have the pink eye. Sunday, I knew I had the pink eye. I texted the lady. Let me read the messages. Ooh, let me read the messages. Okay, so Monday I got the pink eye, but Tuesday is when it was in full effect. So here's a picture of my eye. Here's a picture of my eye. As y'all can see, it's looking crazy. I vlogged that day, so if you can go see, I went to the doctor and everything. I was crying on my vlog because I was effed up. I texted her, I woke up with the pink eye today. I'm on my way to work, but will I be turned around? Because I had called and she didn't pick up. I'm like, I have the pink eye. You know you're not supposed to go to work with the pink eye, especially with babies. But she wasn't picking up. It's my second week. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come in. But I said, will I be turned around? Because I didn't want to say I can't come to work. I was giving her the leverage as the boss to be like, don't come in. You get what I'm saying? So it kind of went to fall back on me. So anyways, I came in with the pink eye. The older black lady was still there. I remember because she was in the classroom with me. She hadn't went on her, I don't know what exact date she went on, but I know it's that second week she did go on vacation. I could be mixing up like a few days, give or take, but listen to the story and you'll be able to put it together if you know, if you can click it. So when I came in, I had the pink eye. I'm like, yeah, I was calling you all morning. I said, but I didn't want to be late. You know, I wasn't getting a response. She was like, well, I don't have my phone. I was like, I called the school. She was like, oh, well, I didn't have it. I had to be in ratio, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, I have the pink eye. Like, I kind of need to go to the doctor. Like, what do you want me to do? She was like, well, just sit here for a minute in the infant room. That should be against all the rules and the codes. And this is why I said that I would just hope and pray that I would never have to put my kid in daycare, because this is the shit that people go through. So I had to sit. So she was like, just don't touch your eyes. Don't touch your eyes. That's what she told me. Like I'm a toddler. I know not to touch my damn eyes and touch something. So I'm sitting on the floor. And it's a baby next to me. Her name is Baby Ava. It's so funny. Y'all never gonna know who that baby is. So try and sue me, because they not even gonna know who that baby is. Anyways, so Baby Ava crying. And she's such a fat little cute baby. She was crying like, and she got these big eyes, fat face. And she always got like a big stupid bow because she had no hair. And she was like crying at me. And I'm like, you know, I can't pick you up. And they looking at me like, why you won't pick up the baby? And I'm like, because I got the pink eye. The head lady was like, hey Kim, I know you're new and all, but you should never come in if you have the pink eye. I don't care, la la la. I'm just like, yeah, but she didn't respond, blah 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 blah. I'm new, I just didn't want to pee her off, basically. She was like, yeah, but you still shouldn't have came. I wouldn't have came. I'm like, okay, whatever. So after like an hour of me sitting there, because I'm supposed to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, after like an hour of me being there, she came in and relieved me, because she made me stay in there because of ratio purposes. She relieved me. I was like, okay, I'm going to the doctor. I went to the urgent care. At 1 o'clock, she texted me, did you get to the urgent care? I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving now. I sent her my paperwork. Wednesday, I texted her at nighttime. I said, hey, Miss Blank, I know you said be back tomorrow, so I'm coming. But just to be clear, my pink eye is still contagious, because my doctor told me 48 hours you need to be out of work. That's what my doctor told me. Keep doing the medicine, and for 48 hours you need to be out of work. I said, mind you, I started off with the pink eye, but I had a runny nose. I was coughing. I needed tea. I couldn't speak. I was a fucking mess. Hot ass mess. And she wanted me to come care for infants. And I was coughing, snotting, couldn't keep my eye open. And that's how she wanted me to come to work. Just to set the tone. Y'all see me crying in the video. A mess. Y'all seen how much a mess I was. I said, just to be clear, my pink eye is still contagious. I spoke to my doctor again, and they said I have to use the medicine for 48 hours before it is no longer contagious. So it is a possibility that someone could catch it as well. She sent me back a Google, something she screenshotted off Google. And it says bacterial pink eye is highly contagious and is typically treated with antibiotic eye drops. It can spread to others as soon as symptoms appear, and it remains contagious for as long as symptoms remain, or for about 24 hours after starting a course of antibiotics. Now, if I would have read this clearly without my eye closed, I would have known in that moment that it says for as long as symptoms remain. Mind you, when I went back to work, I still had the pink eye, so the pink eye was still contagious. She put, here is what article says about it when you are on drops. I can also show you our health bulletin that we have at work. because her part was, or for about 24 hours, because she wanted me to come back to work. And I should have known at this moment that they were so desperate for workers. I should have known the moment that they didn't even train me before they just threw me in there, that they was desperate for workers. She didn't call none of the people that I listed that I had, who the families I work with, or nothing. She didn't even know who I was. She didn't know. I could have been a fucking serial killer. I said, okay, laughing, because I couldn't believe she sent me an article. I said, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just telling you what my doctor said, so if someone catches it, it doesn't fall on me. She said, do you have a return to work note? Now, my doctor did tell me that he could write me a note. I'm like, no, it's not that big a deal. Like, write me a work to stay off longer. I was like, not that big a deal, because I'm thinking they should fucking understand. She said, I said, no, you didn't say get one. You just said go. Mind you, I sent her my doctor's papers, so you know I went. I said, so I only have my paperwork for my medicine and my visit. She said, no, I don't need one. Just asking if the doctor gave you one saying you couldn't work. I never said I couldn't work. I just said I'm contagious. I said, I don't mind coming. I'm just telling you, someone could still get infected, because that's what my doctor told me. And I told her where I work, and she said it wasn't the safest or smartest idea to go back in only one day. She didn't respond. So at 9:13, I said, just to be clear, I'm coming in, correct? And she said yes. So I came in, right? I came in. I came in Wednesday, and okay, they had a CPS case. So the CPS people were coming in, so you have to be in ratio, because, you know, they'll get fined, or, you know, like, you know, or they get rolled up, or however it go. So I came in, they put me in the twos room. Now, I didn't know where they was gonna put me at. I just wasn't even expecting to work, because I know that I can't be bothered with babies, because they like touch my face and stuff like that. But just imagine your eye is like this, you keep crying, the eye boogers keep clotting around your eye, you snotting, you coughing, you hacking, can barely breathe, and it's a bunch of terrible 2-year-olds running around. So I'm sitting in there all day. She was like, I'm gonna get you out early. She had the nerve to tell me at like 10 o'clock, Kimberly, you never told me that you were sick too. You never told me that you were like this. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. She said, you never said that you had a cold and that you didn't feel good. I was like, bitch, like, you, okay. Mind you, when I come in and I'm coughing all down the hallway, you can see. Whatever, okay, whatever. I guess I never told her. I told her ass that, but I guess I never told her, so whatever. I'm in there by like nap time. I guess nap time is like, what is nap time? Like 11 o'clock, let's just say, because I can't remember. Like, I'm sitting on the floor. You gotta pat the kids to sleep, some of them. So I'm patting the kids to sleep. I end up just like I'm just like laying on the wall, dozing off, because I just could, like, I was crying, dozing off. That's how much in pain I was. She comes in because she see me on the camera. She looks at me in my eyes, swear to God on my life. She was like, Kimberly, I need you to stay long. I need you to last. I swear I'm going to get you out early. Mind you, I get off at 4. I swear that I'm going to get you out early. I'm going to get you out early. Just stay in there, please. Hang in there, please. I don't fall asleep. Like, hang in there. And I'm crying, looking at her like, okay. She was like, do you need a break? Mind you, I'm supposed to get a break. I'm supposed to get a break, bitch. What do you mean, do you need a break? I was like, yeah. She was like, well, I'm going to send you home early, so don't take an hour break. Just take 30 minutes. She told me to take 15 minutes. I still took 30. Man, I went in my car and I just like slept for that 30 minutes. And I came back or whatever. And I was still in there, dead fucking zombie. She let me go at 3:30 and I get off at 4. So, okay. That was that. Not to mention my schedule. When I first got hired, I told her that I wanted to work 8 to 4. That's what I told her that I wanted to work. No.
I was speaking too fast. I said I want to work a 9 to 5. She asked me, could I work at 8? So I said, okay, I work 8 to 4. And then I ended up moving up from 7 to 4 later on.
7 to 4, and I could still go to school. So then it was a whole deal with that too, because
all the workers were mad that I got off at 4 because, a lot of them came in earlier and blah, blah, blah. And Sam was promising them that they would get off at certain times and they had to stay longer and close and all that craziness because of ratio. But I was leaving at 4 o'clock every day like I was supposed to. And so it had became a big hoopla because I was holding Sam accountable. They even started saying, we're going to start doing the Kim because apparently the Kim was just walking out.
So that happened. So at 3:30 she sent me home. So Thursday night I texted her that I wasn't coming into work the next day because I was just too fucked up, and I was like, oh, I see that they don't give a fuck, and I just gotta call off. I said, hey, I'm a mess. I'm not coming in tomorrow. I'm drinking tea and cough syrup all weekend, and hopefully I'll be better by Monday. I definitely should be. Coming in that next day, you know, after I got over my cold, I was back to work. I was good. Then I come back, my money was messed up. Now I was telling her, I told her for like a week straight, because it's, you know, it's every 2 weeks you get paid. I told her for like a week straight, like, my money messed up, I need you to fix it. Like, I need you to fix it. And once they told me, like, they didn't teach me how to log into the login yet, because mind you, I told you that she was gone for the first week. So I was with Jamie, the assistant manager, and she never taught me how to log in and change my hours, fix my hours, none of that. Nobody taught me how to do that. And since they threw me in there, they didn't know what the hell I knew or what I didn't know. But I'm telling her, I don't know how to do that. So come the second week, it's about to be second week leading up to pay period. The book is already closed. Mind you, I don't know that. I'm like, is my hours right? Is my hours right? Is my hours right? She like, yeah, everything's good. I get my check. I'm missing 20 something hours. My check was like, I want to say like $200-300. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? So I go back to her, whatever. She was like, well, I told you that you needed to change it by yourself. And I'm like, you never said that. Now, one thing she was is a compulsive liar. I said, you never said that, and I don't know how to do that. So that's how I know you never said that, because I would have told you I don't know how to do that. And she was like, well, I mean, it's a lot going on. I don't really remember looking at your time. After I already got my check. When I've been asking, I said, well, I've been asking you for weeks. Why couldn't you tell me that? Well, really, I just don't remember. So now she's getting frantic, because this is what she do. She get frantic and she cry. She cried. This old ass lady. So I'm like, man, like, so now I'm pissed off, because I'm like, so when am I going to get my hours? So she put in a request for them, right? She like, well, it's a lot of hours, so maybe they'll give it back to you, maybe they won't. Whatever. Fast forward to the next check that I get. They put all the money that they owed me, 20, almost 30 hours, on the same check as the 40 hours I'm already working. Mind you, taxes was coming out of my check like a bitch. City taxes, because I stay in Detroit. Medicaid, health, this, that, whatever the fuck they decide me up for, everything. When she gave me the check for the money they owe me and the time that I had been working, the check was almost $2,000. The damn check didn't have nothing available but $1,200. I had $800 gone. The whole $800 that they owed me was gone. Oh my God, it was gone. I was so mad. Like, I was so mad, because you know that you were supposed to issue me 2 different checks. You know that, hoe. For her to be that old and doing that as long as you, I know that. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be 2 different. You can't shove that all on one check, and that's not how much the people fucking make here, bitch. And I got taxes coming out. I don't have kids. I'm single. So they're taking all my fucking money. They took all my money. $800. $800. I'm still mad about that. So that happened. That happened with my money. So now it's just like real rocky. So here we go to the drama, and with all these old ass grown ass women. So like I said, the head teacher went on break. She went on break. She was gone for a couple days, and when she was there, she was like the mean one and the loud, outspoken one. And then the island lady, the assistant teacher, was real quiet, real soft-spoken or whatever. So when the other lady left, she started talking way more. She was talking to me. We were talking like, who are you? Who are you? She telling me where she from, her kids, everything. I'm like, oh, okay, her financial situation, why she is the way she is. And then out of nowhere, I guess she just had a moment like, oh, bitch, I'm in charge now. That's exactly how she started acting up. And I'm like she had a rear switch. Mind you, I'm still sick. So when I came back from the weekend, I was still coughing. Like, my pink eye was subduing. It was just like light pink. But I was still coughing and snot, and I still had to drink tea every morning. So I wasn't doing a whole lot of talking. So like, you know, like, I was listening more than I was talking, which is really weird for me. So we conversating and stuff, both drinking tea, because we both had a cold at the time or whatever. So then towards like the end of the week, you know, like, conversations are like going to shit now, because I'm not really, you know, as into it. Like, I got a headache, I'm sick, I don't really want to talk all day. So there was an incident. This was the only incident we had. This is the only incident we had that this was like a big deal. So she acted like, now the head teacher, when she fed the kids, she would wash all their hands, put them in the seat, feed them all, clean up, like, you know, wash their hands again, put them on the floor, you know, and then somebody else would do them. So with her, she just was acting handicapped. So it's only 2 of us in here now. She was putting her kids in there or whatever, and it was one kid. No, I'm lying. I was washing all her kids' hands to put them in a chair. One baby, she asked me to wash his hands and put him in the chair, and I was like, okay. So I washed his hands. Now it's 2 little babies it's 2 babies on the floor. They don't sit up yet, and they're screaming, right? So I washed his hands. In a frantic state, I set him on the floor instead of putting him in a chair. Now the kids, so we have 4 and 4. So 3 of her kids are in the chair. 2 of my babies are on the floor crying, 2 sleeping, and then her last one is the ones who hand I wash it. So I wash his hands, I set him on the floor. I go and I try and prop one baby here, one baby here. You know, I'm trying to keep everybody happy. So as soon as the noise subsided, like as soon as they stopped screaming. And another thing about this job is when I worked there, they just let babies lay there and cry. They got way too many kids that they can handle. So a lot of kids just had to lay there and cry. And I mean, those parents was paying, what? Almost $1,000 a week sometimes, or what is it, 2 weeks? I don't know. Too much motherfucking money for your kid to be laying on the carpet all day and crying. That's trifling. But anyways, so I picked up both the babies. Mind you, like I said, they both can't sit up. So you know how hard it is to prop one baby and another baby that can't sit up and it's going to fall on their face if you don't hold them, if you don't get them right. One was really fat at that. So I put them up, you know, I finally get them, you know, calm or whatever. So I'm like patting, rocking, doing what I got to do. So she was like, hey, Kim, can you put the baby in his chair? And I was like, oh my, I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot to put him in there. No, I never even said it. I'm lying. She said, can you put the baby in his chair? I said, well, can you just do it because I already just got them up here. I was like, it's going to be really hard for me to put them down and put them. I said, it'll be easier if you just grab him because her hands was free. All your kids are strapped in a chair and I'm looking at them so you can grab this kid. She was like, well, I asked you to do it initially. I said, yeah, I know. I said, I'm sorry, I forgot because they were screaming and I wanted to, you know, stop them from crying. She said, well, Kimberly, this is a team. And if I ask you to do something, I need you to help. I said, teamwork would have been you picking him up because you don't have anything, you're not doing anything. And I'm holding 2 kids that don't sit up by themselves. And she said, well, I don't want to argue with you. I'm making their plates. Mind you, it's really not no making their place. You pour they fucking applesauce into a little styrofoam bowl. Put a spoon in it. And if they got food, it's like nothing like that because this is the infant room. You get what I'm saying? It's not no, you're not making no steak dinner. You're not doing anything but putting shit on a plate. You can't stop and grab the kid. So I had to lay both the babies down, let them cry again, to put this kid in the chair. So that was that. I guess another incident that I hadn't even realized that she had said something to me and I nodded my head. Mind you, my throat is hurting. I already told y'all I was sick. She said, Kimberly, did you hear me? And I said, yes, I heard you. And that was it. So one day I get called into the office. Oh, I went into the office to complain about my check, missing all these hours. So I'm already irritated as fuck. I get in there. Sam is like, well, do you want to move to another classroom? And I'm like, no, why would I want to move to another classroom? One thing about me is when I get into a routine, I don't like to change that routine. I like set stuff. Like I like to wake up. I like to do things a certain way. I like routine. I don't know. I thrive off, like that's how I was raised. I had a bedtime. I woke up a certain time. I had breakfast. I had lunch. I had dinner. I had dance. I had cheer. I had choir. Everything was on a certain schedule. So I like to go by a schedule. You get what I'm saying? That's just how I am. That's how I operate. So, so she was like, you want to move classes? I'm like, no. She was like, well, I didn't want to say, but the infant teachers don't want you. I'm like, teachers? She's like, well, more so the assistant teacher. And I'm like, what? Hold the phone. Because one thing about it, don't be a fake bitch. Excuse my language, y'all, but y'all got to get it how it is. Don't be a fake bitch. Because you're in here, you telling me that you broke. You got to send your kid to another country because you broke. This why you work in here. I'm like, well, why did you leave your country? This, that, and the third, everything about your baby daddy. From your grandma to your mama to your auntie to your uncle. And then you gonna tell her you don't want to work with me? Like I did something to you. Okay, ho. So yeah, so she told her that she didn't want to work with me. So I was like, who? She was like, the assistant teacher. I'm like, are you serious? She was like, yeah. How come you don't know? I'm like, because she done told me her whole life story. So I'm confused. I'm like, every day I come in, she want to talk. She want to be friends. She want to over talk, and I don't even feel good. And I got to hear you run your mouth all day, and I don't even feel good. And then you gonna say that you don't want to work with me? So Sam goes and gets, she comes in or whatever. Jamie goes to cover for her because that's what she do with her ugly. Ugh. So she comes in here and she was like, yeah, well, I just feel like you're very combative. I'm like, what? She's like, you're combative. I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, well, you like, when I tell you to do something, you say something back. Like she said, basically you always have something to say back. I'm like, when do I always have something to say back? I'm like, I just say okay. And then she told the incident of the baby. She said, well, I asked you to put the baby in the chair and you said something back combatively. I said, no, I said it's a valid point back. Did that offend you? And then here goes Sam. Ha! See? You're being combative. You're being aggressive right now. You're being combative and aggressive right now. Y'all, I swear to God, I was just like that. I was like in the Twilight Zone. I'm like, what? I said, I'm saying exactly what happened. I'm like, how come she get to talk and you don't want me to talk? She's like, well, I mean, you talk aggressively. Mind you, fast forward to the week that I started. The week I started this job, I swear to God on my life, I'm walking out. And Sam calls me to her office. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? No, I was asking her about my check again. But this is a week. This is a week like in my start date. And I had asked her about my check. She was like, hey, Kim, I want to say something to you, but I don't want to offend you. And I was like, what is it? And she was like, well, you're very intimidating. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she was like, no, she said, you're very intimidating. And I said, well, that doesn't offend me. I said, but I don't understand how I'm being intimidated. She said, well, the ladies, you know, this is a job full of women, and they just feel like your personality is very intimidating. I said, well, I haven't even did anything yet. And she said, well, they just feel like that you might possibly take their jobs over. And I said, well, that doesn't make me feel bad at all. I said, even though I haven't did anything. And I thought that was so funny because you think that that's an insult. That's not an insult to me. When I walk in and y'all get nervous, all you old ass people, and I'm 18, I feel like I'm that bitch. I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm intimidating them. I don't feel bad about that. They should feel bad about themselves for feeling intimidated by an 18-year-old coming to take over their jobs that they're not even making any money at. You're sitting here overworking yourself, stressing yourself out for no money other than money that an 18-year-old should be working for. That's all I'm saying. Y'all should feel bad about yourselves, not the other way around, sister. I was like, oh, I feel the type of way about that toodles because I was off. So fast forward back to this conversation, she was like, you're being aggressive or whatever. I'm like, I'm not being aggressive. So she was like, and it was another incident, and I said something to you, and you didn't respond. She said, and I asked, did you hear me? And you said, mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And she was like, normally you address me as yes, ma'am. Because I do. Because I address them. Because like I said, they're older. I say like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am type shit. But I don't have to do that. Because we're equal. We make the same amount of money. So you should. Like, people don't understand. It's like, I gave you that. Nobody told me you have to address these. I could address you as your motherfucking government name. The same name your mama addressed you as. I don't have to say yes, ma'am, but I'm just like, you old and ancient. So I'm gonna address you as yes, ma'am. She wasn't even old and ancient, but I'm just talking my shit now. But I address you as yes, ma'am, because that's what I want to do. And then when I don't do it, you're offended? Okay. So she said, well, you said, mm-hmm. I said, what does that mean? She said, well, that's rude. I said, but I've been sick. I said, we had talked about this. I said, I come here every day drinking tea. I said, I didn't say 2 words to you. Because I've been sick. I don't want to talk. I don't feel good. What the fuck is you not clicking? What's not clicking, Steven? So then she gonna say, oh, well, I'm just used to you saying yes, ma'am, or whatever. I was like, okay. I said, but how come you tell her that you don't want to work with me and you telling me your whole life story? She said, well, you did more talking. I listened. I said, no. You heard about me through her and you was asking me about my acting, about everything. I said, I never even offered you any information. You offered me your whole life story and I don't even know you, lady. And she was like, well, I'm just saying, see, you're just too combative. Like, you're combative. You're combative. And then at the same time, my manager started yelling at me, you're very aggressive. Ah, you're aggressive. Calm down. Don't say anything. Let her talk. Let her talk. You don't let her say back? I said, is this not what that's for? I'm confused. I'm supposed to listen to her tell me that she don't want to work with me and all this shit that she done came up with her old ass, delusional ass, miserable ass, lame ass, boring ass life of a brain, and I can't say anything back? I just started crying. Why I started crying? Not because I was sad, because I was going to sucker punch both those hoes. At that moment, I felt like this is why I used to fight all these bitches back in school. Because these bitches is crazy. I was like, these older bitches is worse than the young bitches I used to fight. And I was just like, I just wanted to like fight. Like I just wanted to pop. I just wanted to punch her ass through the wall behind her desk. And I wanted to bam this bitch just like this that was sitting right next to me. Run her lying ass mouth. When she was telling me her broke ass can't afford to even fucking live. Oh, I was so bad, y'all. I was so bad. Like, and so I started crying. So then now they're scared. Now they're scared. You know, because really you should be scared when white people cry, because that's when they get to shooting up the buildings and shit. I'm not racist. I'm just saying, you know, they handle shit differently than we do. Especially these people that I'm talking about now. I am not a racist. I love all people. Amen. However, they got scared. Probably because she could see that I wanted to punch the motherfucking lights out of her. So I'm shaking. I'm like, yeah, well, can I go? I said, I don't care where y'all put me. I'm about to go. So she was like, she's like, no, but we don't want you to feel sad. I'm like, you don't want me to feel sad, but y'all want to sit here and try and down me. Y'all don't even fucking know me. Y'all want to try and down me. You want to tell me I can't talk and I'm aggressive and combative. And then here goes the island lady. Well, I'm not calling you aggressive. I said combative. I chose my words lightly because I know how it can be for black people to be labeled as aggressive. But you came and told this white ass lady that I'm combative. Bitch, just because you use the military saying don't mean it's not same like ass. Ho. So whatever. So I was combative after that moment. So I left. I was like, I gotta go. Y'all pissing me off. And so at that's the time that she was supposed to fix my hours. And she was like, yeah, I'm fixing them right here. And you know why I remember that? And I forgot to tell y'all that, you know, in that part. But that's exactly why I knew that she had supposedly fixed my hours. And I had stopped asking her about it because she was putting me in. She was like, I'm emailing right now. It should be fixed immediately, la la la. Because I sat there even after the lady left. And I was crying and shaking and crying and shaking while she fixed it. So again, when it fast forward time for my check, she was like, well, I don't remember doing it. And I'm like, I remember specifically because I sat here and I cried while you fucking did it. You fucking weirdo. And she was saying, oh, I still don't remember doing it. I don't remember doing it. Oh, well, you should have did it yourself and all this and blase, blase, blase. So that was the first big incident that happened there.
Stay tuned for part 2. It'll be posted tomorrow. Love y'all.